Kylian Mbappé was born on December 20, 1998, in the 19th arrondissement of Paris, France, just 5 months after France won their first FIFA World Cup on home soil. The stadium where that historic victory took place, the Stade de France, was only 11 kilometers away from his family home. It was as if destiny had written his story before he could even walk. Kylian was born into a family of athletes. His mother, Faiza Lamari, was a professional handball player who represented her country with distinction. His father, Wilfried Mbappé, was a football coach and a player at the local club AS Bondy. From the very beginning, football was not just a sport for Kylian, it was a way of life. The family lived in the Parisian suburb of Bondy, known locally as Neuf-Trois or the 93rd arrondissement. This area, located about 6 miles from the center of Paris, was a melting pot of cultures and communities. It was a place where dreams were born on concrete pitches, where honor was everything, and where football was the universal language. The Mbappé family flat overlooked the AS Bondy football pitches, and young Kylian would spend hours watching his father coach and train other players. He was just a toddler when he would wander onto the pitch with a football, listening to team talks as if he understood every word. The club president, Edmain Arouche, later recalled that before every game, you would see a 2-year-old walk in with a ball and sit with the players to listen to the team talks. Kylian heard more pre-match team talks than any player in the club's history. Growing up in Bondy taught Kylian values that would stay with him forever. There was an unspoken rule in the neighborhood that everyone understood. If you walked down the street and saw 15 people standing on the corner, and you only knew one of them, you had a choice. You either waved and walked on, or you went over and shook all 15 hands. Kylian learned that lesson well. He learned respect, humility, and the importance of community. He later wrote that Bondy was not just a place, it was a culture. It was the melting pot of so many cultures that kept him grounded even after achieving enormous success. Bondy was where he learned that you never forget where you came from. Kylian's bedroom walls were covered with posters of footballers. He had posters of Zinedine Zidane, the French legend who had inspired an entire generation, and Cristiano Ronaldo, the Portuguese superstar who would later become one of his idols. He also had posters of Neymar, which he later admitted to finding very funny given that they would eventually become teammates at Paris Saint-Germain. But football was not his only passion. Between the ages of 6 and 11, Kylian attended a performing arts center where he learned to sing, read music, and play the flute. He was a child of many talents, but football always remained his first love. At AS Bondy, Kylian was already one step ahead of other players his age. His childhood friend Ryan Vianga later recalled that Kylian was advanced for his age group and always wanted to play with the best. That was a strict rule of his, to play with the best. His father, Wilfried, recognized his son's extraordinary talent early on and made sure that Kylian was always challenged. He would train with older boys, often playing against teenagers when he was just a child. He was so advanced that even at 7 years old, he was already dribbling past older players with incredible skill. His stepovers made heads spin, his anticipation was beyond his years, and his awareness on the pitch was something that coaches had never seen in such a young player. One of the most formative moments of Kylian's childhood came during a school tournament when he was 11 years old. The Coupe 93 was a tournament that brought together students from the 6th through 9th grades, and it was treated like a World Cup by everyone involved. The prize was a small plastic trophy worth just €2, but to the children of Bondy, it was everything. The rule was that every team had to be mixed, with girls and boys playing together. But not all the girls wanted to participate, so Kylian had to negotiate. He recalled begging his friend to play and promising her that if they won the cup, he would buy her a new coloring book. The stakes felt monumental. As he later wrote, "We played for this €2 trophy like it was the Jules Rimet trophy. That's just how it was. In '93, your honor is always at stake." Kylian's obsession with football came at a cost. His schoolwork took a back seat, and he would often return home with warnings from his teachers. Kylian did not do his homework. Kylian forgot his school supplies. Kylian was talking about football during mathematics. His head was always in the clouds, dreaming of the pitch. But his mother, Faiza, was a strong disciplinarian who made sure he understood the importance of both education and football. She would not tolerate any excuses, and she pushed him to be the best in everything he did. The turning point of Kylian's entire life came during the Coupe 93 when his team reached the semi-finals. The match was played at a real stadium in Gagny, the biggest stadium he had ever played in, with hundreds of people watching. He was terrified. He later admitted that he practically did not run because he was so scared. He barely touched the ball. He froze on the biggest stage of his young life. He felt like he had failed himself, his team, and his family. After the match, his mother walked onto the pitch, grabbed him by the ears, and delivered a message that would stay with him forever. She said, "You are going to remember this all your life. You always have to believe in yourself, even if you fail. You can miss 60 goals. No one cares. But the fact that you refuse to play because you're scared can haunt you all your life." Those words changed everything for Kylian. He was never scared on a football pitch again. He later wrote, "There is no Kylian Mbappé without my mother, my father, my community, my friends. Not because I played poorly. Because I was scared." The lesson his mother taught him was that failure was acceptable, but fear was not. He learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the ability to push through it. When Kylian was just 10 years old, Nike contacted his family and offered him free boots. It was a sign that his talent was being noticed at the highest levels. By the age of 12, he was already attracting the attention of some of the biggest clubs in Europe. He left home to join the French Football Federation's National Academy at Clairefontaine, a prestigious institution that had produced some of France's greatest players. It was there that he would take his first major step toward becoming a professional footballer. At Clairefontaine, Kylian initially found the transition difficult. He was away from his family for the first time, and the competition was fierce. During his first year, he was certainly not the best in his group. He would often play out on the wing and would frequently be in a sulky mood. He was still small for his age, and the older boys were stronger and more experienced. But Kylian had something that the other boys did not have, an unbreakable belief in himself and a work ethic that was unmatched. His mother's words echoed in his mind every time he felt like giving up. He would never be scared again. Towards the end of his first year at Clairefontaine, Kylian experienced a growth spurt. He grew taller and stronger, and his game began to transform. By the second year, he was really starting to look the business. His coaches were amazed by his progress, and his confidence grew with every passing match. He was no longer the scared boy who had frozen in the Coupe 93 final. He was becoming a fearless player who would do whatever it took to win. When Kylian was just 11 years old, he traveled to London to train with Chelsea's youth team. His friends in Bondy could hardly believe it, and they asked to see photos as proof. It was a surreal experience for a young boy from the suburbs of Paris. He was being courted by one of the biggest clubs in England. But the biggest surprise came just before his 14th birthday. Real Madrid, the club he had dreamed of playing for since childhood, invited him for a trial. His parents surprised him with the trip to Spain as a birthday present. The moment Kylian met Zinedine Zidane was something he would never forget. Zidane met the family in the parking lot by his car, and Kylian was starstruck. Zidane offered to drive him over to the training field and pointed to the front seat, telling him to get in. Kylian froze and asked, "Should I take off my shoes?" He was so nervous that he could not even think straight. Zidane laughed and told him to get in. The encounter with Zidane left an indelible mark on Kylian. He knew that Real Madrid was where he wanted to be, but the timing was not right. Despite the allure of Real Madrid, Kylian's family made a decision that would shape his career. They decided that he should stay in France during his teenage years to continue his development in a familiar environment. They believed that moving to Spain at such a young age would be too much of a risk. Instead, Kylian joined Monaco, one of the most prestigious clubs in France, at the age of 14. It was a decision that would pay off in ways that no one could have predicted. When Kylian joined Monaco, he was immediately thrown into a new environment. He was away from his family again, and the pressure to succeed was immense. But he had learned from his experiences at Clairefontaine. He knew that he had to be patient, work hard, and believe in himself. His father, Wilfried, would later say that the family always knew Kylian had something special, but they never wanted to put too much pressure on him. They had a plan, what some would later call Project Mbappé, and they stuck to it. At Monaco, Kylian was given the chance to train with some of the best young players in Europe. He was still small for his age, but his speed and skill were already evident. He would spend hours on the training ground, perfecting his dribbling, his finishing, and his movement off the ball. His coaches were amazed by his dedication. He was not just talented, he was obsessed with becoming the best. One of his youth coaches at AS Bondi, Antonio Riccardi, later stated, "The first time I coached him was when he was 6 years old. You could tell he was different. Kylian could do much more than the other children. His dribbling was already fantastic and he was much faster than the others. He was the best player I've ever seen in 15 years coaching here. In Paris, there are many talents, but I'd never seen a talent like him. He was what we call a crack, the best." On December 2, 2015, Kylian made his professional debut for Monaco at the age of 16 years and 347 days. He became the youngest player in Monaco's history, breaking a record previously set by Thierry Henry in 1994. It was a moment that his family had been waiting for, and Kylian was overcome with emotion. He had achieved his dream of becoming a professional footballer, but he knew that this was just the beginning. 3 months later, on February 20, 2016, Kylian scored his first professional goal against Troyes. He became Monaco's youngest ever scorer, again breaking a record previously held by Thierry Henry. The footballing world was beginning to take notice. Here was a boy from Bondy who was breaking records that had stood for decades. He was being compared to Henry, one of France's greatest strikers, and he was only 17 years old. The 2016-2017 season was the season that put Kylian Mbappé on the map. Under the guidance of coach Leonardo Jardim, Monaco played an electrifying brand of attacking football. Kylian was at the heart of it all. He scored 26 goals in all competitions, including 6 in the Champions League. He helped Monaco win the Ligue 1 title, breaking Paris Saint-Germain's dominance. He also led Monaco to the semi-finals of the Champions League, scoring against Manchester City, Borussia Dortmund, and Juventus. The footballing world was stunned by his performances. He was just 18 years old, but he was playing like a seasoned veteran. Kylian's performances caught the attention of every major club in Europe. Real Madrid, the club he had dreamed of playing for, came calling again. But Kylian and his family made a difficult decision. They believed that he needed more playing time to continue his development. At Real Madrid, he would have been competing for a place with Cristiano Ronaldo, Karim Benzema, and Gareth Bale. At PSG, he would be the star. So, in August 2017, Kylian joined Paris Saint-Germain on an initial loan deal that would become permanent for a fee of €180 million, making him the most expensive teenager in football history. The pressure on Kylian was immense. He was now playing for the biggest club in France, with expectations of winning the Champions League. But Kylian did not crumble under the pressure. He thrived. In his first season at PSG, he scored 21 goals and provided 16 assists, winning the Ligue 1 title and the Coupe de France. He was already proving that he was worth every penny of his transfer fee. The 2018 FIFA World Cup in Russia was where Kylian announced himself to the world. He was just 19 years old, but he was already one of the most important players in the French national team. He scored 4 goals in the tournament, including a stunning brace against Argentina in the round of 16, where he was clocked at 37 km/h during a breathtaking solo run that led to France's opening goal. His performance against Argentina was one of the greatest individual performances in World Cup history. He was unstoppable. In the final against Croatia, Kylian scored France's last goal in a 4-2 victory. He became only the second teenager, after Pelé in 1958, to score in a World Cup final. He won the Young Player of the Tournament award, and he had established himself as one of the best players in the world. He said at the time, "It's flattering to be the second one after Pelé, but let's put things into context, Pelé is in another category." But the comparisons with Pelé were already being made, and they would only intensify as his career progressed. Over the next 4 years, Kylian became PSG's all-time leading scorer, surpassing Edinson Cavani with 256 goals in 308 appearances. He won 6 Ligue 1 titles, 4 Coupes de France, and numerous other domestic trophies. He also won the Ligue 1 top scorer award 6 consecutive times, a record in French football. He was the most marketable player in the world, with over 130 million followers on Instagram. But the one trophy that eluded him was the Champions League. PSG reached the final in 2020, but they lost 1-0 to Bayern Munich. The disappointment was crushing. Despite his individual brilliance, Kylian faced criticism that he was not winning the biggest trophies. His time at PSG was seen as a period of unfulfilled potential. Critics argued that he was too focused on his own statistics and not enough on the team. His managers, including Luis Enrique, tried to push him to become a better leader. In a viral video, Luis Enrique told Kylian, "I hear you like Michael Jordan." Jordan would grab his teammates by the balls and start defending them like a son of a bitch. Why? To be a leader. Because you think that you only have to score goals. Of course, you are a world phenomenon, a top-class player, no doubt about it. But that doesn't work for me. A true leader is when you can't help us with goals. The day you don't attack, I want you to be the best player in history at defending. That's a leader. That is Michael Jordan. The 2022 World Cup in Qatar was where Kylian proved that he was a man for the biggest moments. He scored a remarkable hat-trick in the final against Argentina, becoming only the second player after Jeff Hurst in 1966 to score a hat-trick in a World Cup final. He was the best player on the pitch, but his team lost on penalties. The pain of that defeat would stay with him, but it would also drive him to achieve even more. He won the Golden Boot for scoring 8 goals in the tournament. In 2024, Kylian finally achieved his dream of joining Real Madrid. He signed for the club as a free agent, after 7 years of speculation and failed transfer attempts. In his first season at Real Madrid, he scored 44 goals and won the UEFA Super Cup and the FIFA Intercontinental Cup. However, the team struggled in the Champions League and La Liga, and Kylian faced criticism from the fans. Some fans booed him and questioned his commitment to the team. But Kylian refused to let the criticism affect him. He knew that he had to be patient and continue to work hard. He had joined the best club in the world, and he was determined to leave his mark. In 2025, Kylian continued to break records. He reached 400 official goals at the age of 26 years and 328 days, becoming the youngest footballer to reach that milestone since Pelé. He also became France's all-time leading scorer, surpassing Olivier Giroud with his 58th goal for Les Bleus. He was now chasing Miroslav Klose's record for the most goals in World Cup history, and he was determined to break it at the 2026 World Cup. The 2026 FIFA World Cup, co-hosted by the United States, Mexico, and Canada, was Kylian's 5th World Cup. He was one of only a few players to have featured in 5 or more World Cups, earning him a special legacy badge. He was now 27 years old and the captain of the French national team. The pressure on him was immense, but he was no longer the scared 11-year-old boy who had frozen in the Coupe 93 final. He had learned to embrace the pressure. France's opening match of the 2026 World Cup was against Senegal. Kylian scored twice, becoming France's all-time record scorer. He surpassed Olivier Giroud, who had been his teammate and mentor, with his 58th and 59th goals for Les Bleus. Kylian fell to his knees on the pitch, covering his face with his hands. He was overcome with emotion. He had broken a record that had stood for years. He had made history. He later said that he was proud to have followed in the footsteps of legends like Just Fontaine, Michel Platini, and Thierry Henry, but he knew that his journey was not over. The tournament was a roller coaster of emotions. Kylian led France through the group stages, scoring goals and providing assists. In the quarter-finals, France faced a tough challenge against Portugal, but Kylian was the difference. He scored a brilliant goal, and France advanced to the semifinals. In the semifinals, France faced Germany, and Kylian scored again, leading France to the World Cup final. He was now one match away from winning his second World Cup. He was also one goal away from breaking Miroslav Klose's record of 16 World Cup goals. The final of the 2026 World Cup was held at the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, with 82,000 fans watching. France faced a resurgent Spain, who had defeated Argentina in the semifinals. It was a tense match, with both teams fighting for every ball. Kylian was isolated for much of the first half, as Spain's defense closed him down. In the second half, the game opened up, and Kylian had a chance to score from a breakaway. He raced past the Spanish defense, took a shot, and the goalkeeper saved it. He missed the chance to break the record. France eventually lost the final 2-1. Kylian was devastated. He had come so close to winning his second World Cup, but he had fallen short. He sat on the pitch after the final whistle, tears streaming down his face, feeling like the 11-year-old boy who had frozen in the Coupe 93 final. But this time, he was not scared. He was heartbroken. Despite the defeat, Kylian had achieved so much in his career. He had become the all-time top scorer for France, he had won the World Cup in 2018, he had scored a hat-trick in the 2022 final, and he had become one of the greatest players of his generation. But he was determined to achieve more. He knew that he still had time to win the Champions League and the Ballon d'Or. He knew that he could still become the greatest player in French history. He refused to let his World Cup final defeat define his career. Kylian's journey from the streets of Bondy to the biggest stadiums in the world is an inspiration to millions. He is living proof that with hard work, determination, and the support of a loving family, you can achieve anything you want in life. He has overcome poverty, fear, and criticism to become one of the most famous and influential footballers in history. He has broken records that were thought to be unbreakable. He has become a leader and a role model for young people all over the world. He is not just a footballer. He is a symbol of hope, resilience, and the power of dreams. His story will be told for generations to come. Kylian Mbappe's journey is far from over. As he continues to break records and chase glory, his legacy is already being written in the history books of football. In June 2026, at just 27 years old, Kylian stands at the crossroads of his career. He has already achieved what most players can only dream of, but he still has so much more to give. The question that everyone is asking is, what comes next for Kylian Mbappé? Will he finally win the Champions League with Real Madrid? Will he break Miroslav Klose's World Cup scoring record? Will he win the Ballon d'Or and cement his place as the greatest French footballer of all time? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain, Kylian Mbappé is not finished yet. Kylian's impact on the game goes far beyond the goals and the trophies. He has inspired a generation of young players from diverse backgrounds to believe that they can achieve anything they set their minds to. He has shown that with hard work, determination, and the support of a loving family, anything is possible. He has become a symbol of hope for millions of people around the world. His story is not just about football, it is about the power of dreams and the resilience of the human spirit. Kylian himself has often said that he wants to be remembered as more than just a footballer. He wants to be remembered as someone who inspired people to be better, to work harder, and to never give up on their dreams. Kylian's family has been his rock throughout his journey. His mother, Faiza, continues to be his biggest supporter and advisor. His father, Wilfried, remains his mentor and guide. His younger brother, Ethan, is also following in his footsteps, pursuing a career in football. The bond between Kylian and his family is unbreakable, and it is this bond that has kept him grounded even as his fame has grown to unimaginable heights. Kylian has often said that he owes everything to his family, and that he would not be where he is today without their love and support. He also remains deeply connected to his roots in Bondy. He has not forgotten the neighborhood that shaped him, and he frequently returns to Bondy to visit old friends and family. He has also invested in the community, supporting local initiatives and projects that help young people from similar backgrounds achieve their dreams. Kylian's relationship with his fans is also something that sets him apart from other players. He understands the responsibility that comes with his platform, and he uses his influence to spread messages of hope and positivity. He is active on social media, where he shares glimpses of his life and his journey with his millions of followers. He also uses his platform to advocate for social justice and equality, speaking out against racism and discrimination in football and society. Kylian's impact extends far beyond the football pitch, and he has become a role model for people of all ages and backgrounds. His legacy will not only be defined by his goals and his trophies, but by the lives he has touched and the positive change he has inspired. As Kylian looks to the future, he knows that the challenges will only get harder. He will face tougher opponents, more intense pressure, and higher expectations. But Kylian is not afraid of challenges. He has faced them his entire life, and he has always emerged stronger. He has learned to embrace the pressure and to use it as motivation to push himself to new heights. He knows that he cannot do it alone, and he relies on the support of his family, his teammates, and his fans. He also knows that his journey is not just about personal glory, it is about representing his country, his family, and his community with pride. Kylian has often said that he wants to make France proud, and that he will continue to give his all for the national team and for his country. One of the most exciting aspects of Kylian's future is the possibility of winning the Ballon d'Or. Despite his incredible achievements, he has not yet won the award. He has been a finalist multiple times, but has always fallen short. Many experts believe that 2026 is the year that Kylian will finally win the Ballon d'Or. After his performances in the World Cup and with Real Madrid, he is widely considered to be the front-runner. If he wins the award, he will become the first French player to win the Ballon d'Or since Zinedine Zidane in 1998. It would be a fitting tribute to his journey and his legacy, and it would cement his place as one of the greatest players of all time. Another exciting prospect is the 2026 Champions League. Real Madrid is one of the most successful clubs in the history of the competition, with 15 titles to their name. But Kylian has never won the Champions League. He came close with PSG in 2020, but they lost in the final. Now that he is at Real Madrid, he has the best chance of his career to win the trophy. Real Madrid has a rich history of success in the Champions League, and Kylian is determined to add his name to the list of legends who have lifted the trophy for Los Blancos. If he wins the Champions League, he will complete his trophy cabinet and cement his status as one of the greatest players in history. Kylian also has a chance to break the World Cup all-time scoring record held by Miroslav Klose. Klose scored 16 goals in the World Cup over the course of his career. Kylian is currently on 14 goals after the 2026 World Cup, just 2 behind Klose. He is only 27 years old and could potentially play in 2 more World Cups. He is almost certain to break the record, and it is just a matter of when, not if. Breaking the record would be a monumental achievement, and it would cement Kylian's place as the greatest World Cup goalscorer of all time. It would also be a testament to his longevity and consistency at the highest level of international football. Kylian's rivalry with Erling Haaland is also one of the most fascinating storylines in modern football. The two players are widely considered to be the future of the sport, and they are constantly compared to each other. Haaland plays for Manchester City in the Premier League, while Kylian plays for Real Madrid in La Liga. They have never played together as teammates, but they have faced each other on multiple occasions. Their rivalry is seen as a modern version of the classic rivalry between Messi and Ronaldo. It has captivated fans around the world and has added an extra layer of excitement to football. Kylian is aware of the comparisons with Haaland, but he has always said that he is focused on his own journey and not on what others are doing. Beyond football, Kylian also has aspirations in business and philanthropy. He is already an investor in multiple ventures and has expressed an interest in building a legacy that goes beyond sport. He has also been involved in charitable initiatives, including efforts to combat climate change and support children's education. Kylian understands that his platform gives him a unique opportunity to make a positive impact on the world, and he is determined to use it wisely. He has said that he wants to be remembered as someone who made the world a better place, not just as a footballer. Kylian's story is still being written, and the next chapters are sure to be just as exciting as the ones that have come before. Kylian is also focused on his personal growth and development. He has said that he wants to become a better player, a better leader, and a better person. He is constantly seeking to improve his game and to add new dimensions to his play. He has also said that he wants to become more vocal on the pitch and to take on more responsibility as a leader. He has shown that he is capable of leading a team, both with France and with Real Madrid, and he is determined to become even better. Kylian's ambition is not just to be good, but to be great. He wants to be remembered as one of the best players to ever play the game, and he is willing to put in the work to achieve that goal. Kylian's father, Wilfried, has always been his biggest mentor and coach. He has guided Kylian's career from the very beginning, and he has been instrumental in shaping his development. Wilfried has said that he is proud of everything that Kylian has achieved, but he knows that his son still has more to give. He continues to push Kylian to be the best that he can be, and he remains a constant presence in his life and career. Kylian's mother, Faiza, has also been a huge influence on his life. She has taught him the importance of discipline, hard work, and perseverance. She has also been a source of unwavering support, always believing in him even when others doubted him. Kylian's story is a testament to the power of family and community. He has overcome countless obstacles to achieve his goals, and he has done it all with the support of his loved ones. He has also stayed true to his roots, never forgetting where he came from. He has become a role model for millions of young people around the world, and he continues to inspire them to chase their dreams. Kylian Mbappé is not just a footballer, he is a symbol of hope and possibility. He has proven that with hard work, determination, and the support of those who love you, anything is possible. As he continues to write his story, the world will be watching with bated breath to see what he achieves next. Kylian Mbappé's journey is far from over, and the best is yet to come. Kylian has also spoken about the importance of mental health and well-being. He has said that he has learned to manage the pressure that comes with being a top footballer, and he has encouraged others to seek help if they are struggling. He has said that he has a strong support system that helps him stay grounded, but he also knows that the pressures of fame can be overwhelming. He has encouraged young players to talk to their families, friends, and coaches about their struggles and to seek help if they need it. Kylian's openness about mental health is a testament to his maturity and his commitment to using his platform for good. Kylian's journey has also highlighted the importance of diversity and representation in football. He is proud of his African heritage, and he has spoken about the importance of having role models who look like you. He has said that he hopes to inspire young people from diverse backgrounds to pursue their dreams, whether in football or any other field. He has also said that he is proud to represent France, a country that is a melting pot of cultures and backgrounds. Kylian's story is a reminder of the power of sport to bring people together and to break down barriers. He is a symbol of unity and hope in a world that is often divided. Kylian has also faced criticism throughout his career. He has been accused of being arrogant, selfish, and too focused on his own statistics. But Kylian has always responded to criticism with performances on the pitch. He has said that he does not let the critics affect him, and that he is focused on his own goals and ambitions. He has also said that he is not afraid to be himself, and that he will not change who he is to please others. Kylian's confidence and self-belief are part of what makes him such a special player. He knows what he wants, and he is not afraid to go after it. Kylian's future is bright, and the possibilities are endless. He has already achieved more than most players could dream of, but he still has so much more to give. He is determined to become the best player in the world, and he is willing to put in the work to make that happen. He is also determined to leave a lasting legacy, both on and off the pitch. Kylian Mbappé's journey is a reminder that anything is possible if you believe in yourself and you are willing to work hard. He is an inspiration to millions, and his story will be told for generations to come. The future is bright for Kylian Mbappé, and the world is ready to see what he does next.